Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. A very good evening, welcome to Irish Premiership Live this Friday night as we kick off 2026 in the Irish Premiership. It gets underway at the home of the league leaders, Larne, as second place Coleraine come to town to take on the title chase for their season. Well, Larne are looking to win their third league title in 4 years and sit 4 points clear at the top with 2 games in hand over closest opponents Coleraine coming into this game tonight. Well, Coleraine under Rory Higgins have joined the title charge this season after back-to-back 6th place finishes. They are led by their star striker Joel Cooper, who moved from the current champions Linfield to the northwest in the summer. It's a battle of the top 2 in the Irish Premiership at Inver Park to start the new year off with a cracker. Kick-off is at 7:45. And across the weekend in the Irish Premiership, Ballymena United host Glenavon tomorrow at the showgrounds. It's Carrick Rangers against Glentoran at TLA's Avenue. It's Dungannon's trip to Crusaders at Seaview. The champions Linfield host Bangor at Windsor Park, and Cliftonville head to Portadown at Shamrock Park. Those are 3 o'clock kickoffs tomorrow. But on Friday night we get our weekend underway in the Irish Premiership, and no bigger than this one. The home of the team that want to be the champions for the third time in 4 seasons, and hoping that they can make a real staking claim for that tonight. But Coleraine kicked themselves back into the title race with that 3-1 win over Linfield on Tuesday night, and they're hoping to close the gap on Larne tonight to just 1 point if they can claim a famous victory at Inver Park and become the first team this season to win at Inver Park as an away side. Larne, the only team in the Irish Premiership this season to remain unbeaten on their home turf. Let's, as the players await to enter the field of play here at Inver Park. The referee this evening, Ian McNabb, hoping that he has a clean at night, nothing to concern the reporters, as Larne in red and Coleraine, of course, in blue and white. Let's start with the team news. Larne playing a 4-4-2 tonight. Rowan Ferguson continues in goal. Captain Tomas Cosgrove is at right back. Matt Ridley and Aaron Donnelly are at centre backs, with Logan Wallace at left back. In midfield is Jordan McAneff alongside Chris Gallagher. Sean Graham is on the right hand side, Leroy Miller off the left, and a front 2 of Tiernan O'Connor and Matthew Lusty to start the lineup for Larne. On the bench for the home side, Dylan Graham, Nolan Simpson, McKendry, Benji McGee, Paul O'Neill and Andy Ryan returns from injury to make it onto the Larne bench this evening. For Coleraine, Aidan Harris starts in goal. They've gone for a back 3, Rory Higgins tonight, of Rowan MacDonald, Mark Connolly and Levi Ives, and then that wing backs of Lewis McGregor and Dean Jarvis, with a midfield of Cameron Stewart, William Patching and Ben Wiley makes his debut for Coleraine tonight. Joel Cooper is alongside Matthew Shevlin in the forward line. Of course, those two actually the joint second top scorers in the Premiership this season. 12 goals apiece for those two, Shevlin and Cooper. Only Fraser Bryden of Crusaders with 14 goals has more than them this season. It's a huge game on the lights in Larne at Inver Park as top of the table Larne take on second place Coleraine. 4 points separate them. Larne will be hoping they can extend that gap, but can Coleraine cut the gap once again after they did on Tuesday night? Kick-off is next. Very good evening. Welcome to this one, a new competition that we're covering on LFS, of course, and Larne against Coleraine, a huge fixture in the Irish Premiership. Certainly this season, with Coleraine being in that title race, an unusual spot for Coleraine, certainly in recent years. And Larne, this is a familiar position, top of the tree, and looking to make it another title-winning season. Gary Havering, who's been through it all before, has the main man's job now at Inver Park and has to make it count. As Larne get us underway, the home side on a very good run, 12 games unbeaten are Larne coming into this game tonight since a 2-0 defeat at Dungannon back in October. So they will be a tough nut to crack. Actually have been this season at Inver Park. Just 2 goals they've conceded on their home patch this season, Larne, which is an incredible defensive record. A bit of head tennis as Coleraine try and play it down the right hand side to get off to a quick start here. Nice hold up by McGregor. Cooper lays it back to Patching, and the ball towards the box was easily caught by Rowan Ferguson. Shevlin was on the mark, but the ball wasn't in his path. Tiernan O'Connor trying to hold it up there. It's Graham. Felt he was fouled. And the referee does now give a free kick to the home side. We'll remember as well, not only do Larne have the points advantage over Coleraine, they've 2 games in hand, which is another major benefit for them. So if they win tonight and then win their 2 games in hand, it'd be a staggering 13 points clear of Coleraine. A lot of those are ifs. 9 points still up for grabs on that front, but this one is a huge one tonight. Of course, it's actually the first time that they've met at Inver Park this season. The 2 previous meetings were at the Coleraine Showgrounds. Differing results, a win apiece so far between the sides this season. Coleraine winning by a goal to 0, and Larne winning the second fixture by 2 goals to 1. How much 3 points means for either one of these two tonight in their title chase. Of course, Linfield were kind of handed that horrible blow of losing the game to Coleraine on Tuesday night, and now set a good, what could be as many as 17 points off the league leaders come the end of the evening before they play tomorrow, Linfield. But if Larne were to lose before they come into tonight, it was a 14-point gap between Larne and Linfield. Of course, Linfield do have 2 games in hand on Larne, but still a major gap to try and make up for David Healy's side, who really haven't looked their best, certainly away from home this season, the champions. But Larne and Coleraine, certainly the 2 best sides when they go on the road. Shevlin does well to fend off a couple of challenges, lays it back to Patching. We'll just go back the way to build from the back here as Dean Jarvis works it back into the midfield. Coleraine wanting to get some possession on the ball early. Back to Ives, who tried to play it down the left channel there for Patching, but the ball just went out of play. 3.5 minutes gone, not much goal-mouth action. The only real chance came down that right-hand side for Coleraine when Joel Cooper tried to feed it through the middle to Patching and ultimately miscued the pass, but that's the only real action so far. Does remain goalless. Long clearance here by Coleraine. It's an awkward one, but Rowan Ferguson has full control of it. He trying to use his physicality there, Matthew Shevlin. That's one thing about the Coleraine front too. They've really work in tandem. Joel Cooper's that tricky, low centre of gravity, skillful player, and Matthew Shevlin's the real dominator. He will dominate an opposition defender. He's got that physicality, that strength, the height as well to kind of be the target man for Coleraine, and that's maybe why they've been in such good form this season and played so well with those two in such great form. 12 goals apiece, as I said. You've got a strike partnership like that, you certainly make headlines. And of course, when Joel Cooper did make the move this summer to Coleraine, a lot of people tipping Coleraine to rocket up the table from back-to-back 6th place finishes, and it shows how important Joel Cooper is and what an asset he is to any Irish League team. Ball over the top there. Just kept alive. Larne thought it was going to run for a goal kick. They've got a goal kick out of it, actually. Thought they were going to get a corner there, but it ended up going wayward. He just kept it alive at the byline and just couldn't make as much of it. As in the end, Aidan Harris retakes control. Well, it's not been a happy hunting ground for Coleraine when they head to Larne in recent meetings. They're on a really poor run when they go away to Inver Park. 7 of the last 9 league meetings between the sides at Inver Park has ended up in a Larne win. 7 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat for Larne in that 9-game run. And Colerane's only win on that run was in November of 2022 when Conor McKendry and Matthew Shevlin scored in a 2-0 victory. Here's Tomas Cosgrove to whip it deep, and the connection, it's struck well wide, but decent opportunity off that left-hand side there for Larne. Yeah, nice ball by Cosgrove. Just breaks through that back line of Coleraine and Leroy Miller on the end of it. Just couldn't get the right connection to it to really test Aidan Harris, but again, given all the time and space, the Larne captain whipping it deep and then completely unmarked at the back post. He just hits it well off target, Leroy Miller. You've got to say McDonald was kind of isolated there, had to defend 2 players in one go. Creating that overload. There's Dean Jarvis. Again, Coleraine trying to play through the middle. That's a nice move. Here's Cooper. He's going to have a go, and the rebound is struck over the bar. And that was a really good opportunity for the new man, Ben Wiley. An opportunity. Joel Cooper with a strike from the outside of the box. Parried back into the path of Ben Wiley by Rowan Ferguson. Dangerous one. He just sliced it. Scooped it over the crossbar. Again, good play again in between the lines from Coleraine. Finding those gaps in between the Larne players, and Joel Cooper, a threat from anywhere around the edge of the area. And his effort was too hot for Rowan Ferguson to handle first time round. As Coleraine trying to apply the press on Larne. Cosgrove is dispossessed. Here's Jarvis. Patching has to work it back to Ives. To Connolly, who's given it away cheaply and trying to chip the goalkeeper. He's knocked it off target. I think it was Manny Lusty there that had that opportunity, and he should have done better with it. Aidan Harris was well off his line, and a shocking bit of defending here. You gotta say, it's really dreadful. Connolly is very lucky Matthew Lusty couldn't make more of that, because he was in major trouble. Experienced defender Mark Connolly, 34-year-old. The new man, of course, in the Coleraine backline. Joined from Derry City on a free on just yesterday, funnily enough, and certainly didn't want to make that his first headline making mark in a Coleraine shirt. It almost would have been a real head and hands moment for the new Coleraine signing. Graham, nice ball in behind here. Larne on the move, McAneff, and the shot is just wide again from Matthew Lusty. Twice in as many minutes he's had great opportunities in the final third, and on both occasions not able to find the net. It's again good play down that right hand side. Great ball in by McAneff. You see it here, the shot right on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it just cannons off the left foot of Matty Lusty and goes wide. Starting to see a little bit of Larne pressure on Coleraine and on one or two good opportunities. Nothing in terms of goals as of yet. Just short of 10 minutes gone here at Inver Park. It's Larne 0, Coleraine 0. It's the top two face off in the Irish Premiership to get matchday 24 underway. Full roster of Irish League fixtures this weekend. This one, the headline of the weekend. Again, that running behind down the right hand side. It's going to be a free kick to Larne here. Down that right hand side, Sean Graham winning that free kick. Or actually Tiernan O'Connor, actually it is, that wins the free kick. Just fouled there by Levi Ives. And it's going to be a free kick in a dangerous area here for Larne. On that right hand side, just outside the 18-yard box. An opportunity to try and get one of those aerial dominant players onto the ball. No one more than Ridley towering over a number in there. Let's see. Graham lays it off to the edge of the area. The strike is straight down the throat of Aidan Harris by Chris Gallagher. That was a pretty wasted effort, if I'm honest. One of those straight off the training ground type of ideas. Going short and trying to work the angle to have a shot from range, and in the end it really came to nothing. Long ball over the top by Larne. Mark Connolly does well in his aerial tussle, and as does Donnelly. Right for a throw in to Coleraine down this left hand side. And Gary Haverin's team, the best defensive side in the Irish League. I said about they'd only conceded 2 goals at home. They've only conceded 9 goals in total in 21 games this season, which is quite the feat. And there's a stoppage here for the moment, which will allow players to take in some liquids, and Murray Higgins is wanting to share some tactical information with his players. And I'm sure the fourth official there is very popular with Gary Haverin, who seems to be complaining with the fact that Coleraine are having a mini kind of team talk on the edge of the pitch there. Murray Higgins just getting some key information to his players. He's done a fantastic job since coming in as Coleraine, bossing 80% win percentage and 13 wins in his 21 league games coming into these last few matches. This season, we have been one of the top sides in the league, deservedly in that title race. And we've got to throw in down this left-hand side with Jarvis. Fires it right across the midfield under a pressure moment. Nicely held off by Cooper. Back to Jarvis. Now patching under a bit of pressure by Sean Graham, who does well. And laying it off back to Connolly. Trying to work it round the right-hand side now. Donnelly. And McDonald down that right-hand side. And a throw-in's going to go Larne's way down that far end. Will Larne start 2026 here tonight. They've got a big Irish Cup game away at Ballymena and an all-Premiership tie next Saturday before they head to Glentoran and Linfield back to back in the space of a 3-day span. Not an easy set of fixtures to come for the league leaders, but that's when their title credentials really could be stamped. If they go away to Glentoran and Linfield and pick up big points there, they really could be rubber stamped as our champions-elect. But a long way to go in the season. Stranger things have happened. Here's Dean Jarvis back to Connolly. Across to McDonald. Gets rid of it quickly. As McGregor tries to keep it in play, but a little bit of a aerial battle, and it's nicely taken in here. And a shot from range. Good strike and a good save by Aidan Harris. I think that was Tiernan O'Connor with a strike from long range, and it was a good 25 yards. Struck it low and hard, and Aidan Harris had to get down quickly. Did really well, found himself in a real pocket of space there, O'Connor. Drives towards the box and then waits to measure up a shot, edging towards that bottom left corner, and Aidan Harris with a really good save to deny him. Down to his right hand side. Larne starting to get on top. Flick on here. Laid off by Graham. Cosgrove feeds it into the area, but too narrow and too close to Harris. Again, Larne certainly turning the screw in an attacking sense. Remains goalless after 15.5 minutes here at Inver Park. Larne with a couple of big opportunities. Matthew Lusty with a few. Tiernan O'Connor with that strike from range. With the major attacking moments for the home team. Visitors have, despite starting pretty well, Coleraine gone a little quiet. Maybe that's why Rory Higgins was so kind of incessant to get some tactical information to his players to give a bit more of an attacking output to his team. Here's Gallagher. Down the left hand side come Larne. Flip ball over the top, down the left again. Again struggling to keep the ball in play there. Down the left hand side Sean Graham, but I think he's been given the free kick there as he was pushed out of play. Saying the referee Ian McNabb. Ayupin says half time 1-0 to Coleraine. That would only be the third goal Larne have conceded this season at home, if that were to happen. We see this again. Graham just seen out nicely initially down that right hand side by Cameron Stewart, but in the end just pushes and shoves him out of play. Gives a cheap free kick away now, which Jordan McAneff will try and make the most of. Free kick down this left hand side. Right footed delivery, whipped into the area. Up and away by Connolly at the back post. Still alive. His back in. It's a real mix of bodies as the ball bobbles around and breaks behind for a goal kick. Leroy Miller, the last touch there. You gotta say, Coleraine certainly not convincing clearing their lines there. That set piece. Couple of decent opportunities for Larne to try and get a shot off, and ultimately couldn't get the clean connection to really test the Coleraine goalkeeper, who will take this goal kick. Looking long. Header back there was a little awkward, and Joel Cooper trying to play it first time. Shefflin's trying to get himself involved. Trying to use that physicality to their advantage, Coleraine, but ultimately not coming out with the ball as Miller now lays it off to McAneff. Trying to get Larne down the left hand side. Whip ball in. It's just about cleared away by Coleraine, and now they want to spring a counter. Here's Wiley. Just settle back. Give it back to Dean Jarvis again. Well, as I said, the two previous meetings between these two this season were at the Coleraine Showgrounds. Joel Cooper, on his debut for Coleraine, scored the winner on the opening weekend of the season to give Coleraine 3 points, and Larne on the return fixture in November won by 2-1. Leroy Miller and Sean Graham both in the starting 11 for Larne tonight, scored those goals, and Matthew Shevlin with a late consolation to make it a little interesting, but ultimately nothing coming of it in the end in that one. And the strong defensive focus of Larne was able to prevail on that front. Actually, there was a stat I was reading earlier that Larne haven't conceded more than one goal in a single game at home this season. Obviously only 2 scored, and only 2 teams that have scored at Inver Park, other than Larne obviously, but as visiting teams are Bangor and Glenavon. Bangor in their 1-1 draw with Larne, and Glenavon in their defeat to Larne here. Cosgrove a little bit too excited, playing forward too quickly there, as Ives does well to evade challenges. Former Larne man, of course. Ives gives it away. Shevlin tries to win it back, and the press there was on, but ball does come back to Donnelly. Trying to break down that left hand side is Graham, but he has to work it back to Donnelly again. 20 minutes gone, still goalless. Here's McInnes to Cosgrove, who delivers it back to Wallace. Pumped over the top there, down the left. Sean Graham trying the first time, header across. It's patching there to break it apart and carry the ball forward nicely here for Coleraine. And as he plays it to Joel Cooper, Cooper was offside. Nice idea, good carry of the ball by Will Patching. Just unable to time his pass right, and Joel Cooper just couldn't time his run right. In the end breaks down, but it was a nice idea. Yeah, he's quite clearly a good yard or 2 offside there. Nice defensive line between Wallace and Donnelly there for Larne. It's a throw in down the left for the for the home side. And win another throw in. It's one thing about Larne, they don't rush things, they aren't impatient in their play. Many's a game this season at home they've been goalless for quite a long time and ended up winning by the solitary goal. Very easily could turn out the same way tonight, as Shevlin does well to win the free kick around about the centre circle for Coleraine, get them out of their own defensive third for a while at least. And yeah, Sean Graham showed a little too much there to Ian McNabb in that challenge. Definitely a free kick. Connolly trying that first time, ball in behind. Cooper on the run. And the pressure. Ridley has to get rid and puts it behind for the corner. A corner to Coleraine, their first of the game. Opportunity from set pieces. Try and give themselves a little bit of a benefit so far. It's going to be the debutant Ben Wiley that's going to go over and take it in this right hand side. Lots of bodies forward there for Coleraine. 6 of them in the 18-yard area. Wiley's over to take. Left-footed delivery. It's narrow. It's up and away at the front post by Larne. And then Cooper tried to retrieve it, but well cleared away by the Larne defence. Right for a Coleraine throw on the near side. As I said, Coleraine certainly sharing the goals between their 2 centre forwards, Joel Cooper and Matthew Shevlin. Cooper scored against his former club in Linfield in that 3-1 win for Coleraine on Tuesday night. His last away goal, though, for Coleraine came against Portadown in a 2-0 win back in October. Matthew Shevlin scored in that fixture as well. Portadown went down to 10 men in that game. That's the last time Joel Cooper scored away from the Coleraine showgrounds. Play down the left-hand side here for Larne. Another cross from that left-hand side, and another clearance from Coleraine. It was Lusty on the end of that one, trying to cause a threat again. He's missed one or two opportunities so far. Certainly Larne in the ascendancy, and Coleraine hanging on in there at the minute. It's Tomas Cosgrove pings forward, held up by O'Connor. And he just nips it past Ives. Wanted a foul there, the Coleraine fans. Not going to get it as McAneff tries to open up an angle to shoot. Has to lay it off to the left-hand side. And they've given it away cheaply there, Larne, trying to create something in the final third. And Cooper breaking away, trying to find his partner in Shevlin, who couldn't keep it in play. And speaking of Matthew Shevlin, his last two goals, he scored in the 2-1 defeat against Glentoran for Coleraine. That was his last goal. Actually, that was a game in which Dylan Boyle was sent off for Coleraine, and their manager, Rory Higgins, was also sent off in that game at the Oval. That was another Friday night game, that one. Under the lights, with the cameras all on show. Of course, in the Irish Premiership, if you're not familiar, and those of you joining us tonight, and thank you all for joining us for this one this evening, do hit that like button. It does massively help to help grow the stream and to kind of share it with everybody that you know, and hopefully it's giving you a little bit of extra coverage of the game tonight if you're watching it. Certainly a game that, well, certainly when I looked at the fixtures and I knew this was a Friday night game, I was like, I have to watch this. I have to do a watch along for this. I have to kind of talk about it, because it is, in terms of the grand scheme of things, in the Premiership season, a huge clash in which both sides would love to win, but they would both not want to lose it by any stretch of the imagination. That goes back to that whole saying of, if you can't win it, make sure you don't lose it. That's an effort from a range there from, I think it was Sean Graham. No, it was Matthew Lusty again off that left-hand side, and he's had more than enough opportunities. We see it again. It's lovely little ball through the lines by Miller, and he's just off balance, Lusty. He's wide of that left post, narrow angle, and he just strikes it right across goal. And at the other end, Aidan Harris wasn't even worried about it. Knew it was going to go wide. The Coleraine stopper. Patching. Connolly. McDonald. Pinged it into Cooper. Nice hold up. Nice little 1-2. Cooper looking for an option. Finds Patching. Patching lays it out wide to Jarvis. Back inside to Ben Wiley. Ives. Nice direct ball. Flip round the corner to Jarvis. Lovely little combination between Jarvis and Patching there. Stewart down the right hand side it comes. And McGregor breaking down that right channel. Works it back. Blocked it away by Donnelly, and Stewart trying to follow it in. Here is Cameron Stewart. A little bit loose in his possession, and then trying to win it back, it's given away a free kick. And McDonald there fouling Matthew Lusty in the Larne half. Breaks that positive possession, you gotta say, from Coleraine apart. Yeah, just a little bit too much there from McDonald in terms of physicality, but I gotta say, when they got into rhythm there, Coleraine, they did look a threat in possession. Here's Cooper with it again, down the right hand side comes McGregor. Back to Cooper, he's got a pocket of space here. Joel Cooper had the shot blocked. Work back outside to McGregor. Held it up well, finds Cooper. Out in that right channel. Coleraine maybe starting to get themselves into the game. Cooper lifts it into the area. Bubbles away from a couple as Jarvis hits one. And it was off the left foot and over the crossbar for a goal kick. Decent play again there from Coleraine. Lacking the pass into the final third, the correct ball into the box, or the right delivery, but the approach play was nice. And the finish from Dean Jarvis wasn't too shabby for a left back, but Certainly left a lot to be desired in the grand scheme of things on that one. Only real effort that Coleraine have had that tested Rowan Ferguson was Joel Cooper's effort that was parried back into the path of Ben Wiley before he sliced over the crossbar. That was the only real Coleraine effort so far, as Cooper picks it up again, loose from Chris Gallagher in the centre midfield. As here's Matthew Shevlin, breaks past Wallace. Shevlin with a cutback, and in the mix there, I think, I couldn't quite see who it was. Coleraine weren't able to take advantage, and in the end, Levi Ives wins a free kick deep in his own half. They are coming into life all of a sudden, Coleraine. Not looking to wait around either. Nice play by Stewart, switching it out to Levi Ives. Look at this! Look at the space now for Ives. Pings it into Shevlin. Just couldn't hold it up. Nice challenge back there by Leroy Miller, and that's going to be a Larne free kick right on the edge of the day, in their own half. Well, Ayubin. Apologies if I've mispronounced that, but he's very confident that Coleraine are going to win. So far, the poll in the chat, 75% predicting a Larne win, 70% say a draw, and 8% say Coleraine. If you haven't voted already, do get your votes in. Great to have your interaction with us. Do let us know what you think of the game, what you're, if you're enjoying the stream so far. And do hit that like button as well. It does massively appreciate. And who knows, your like might actually help us get a goal. I gotta say, genuinely, I wasn't expecting a crazy high-scoring game between these two tonight. Albeit they've certainly put the ball into the back of the net quite a number of times this season. 46 goals for Coleraine to Larne's 34. So they both know how to find the net. "46 goals and 23 games, averaging 2 goals a game are Coleraine. Larne with 34 goals in 21 games coming into this one tonight. And of course, you know, we talked about Linfield and how kind of their defence of their title really hasn't been to the standards that David Healy would have wanted, or certainly not what we usually expect to see from Linfield this season. But Larne and Coleraine and even Glentoran to an extent have been there to pick up the pieces really and take advantage of that, get themselves into a title race and try and get their taste of some silverware, which Linfield have, certainly league-wise, have hoovered up over the past decade. Coleraine have also got, you know, cup competitions in their sights as well. Rory Higgins made it very clear that he wasn't just about getting Coleraine up the table, it was about winning trophies, it was making this club successful again. Of course, they did win the Irish League back in the 70s, 1973-74 season. Coleraine won the league, but it's their one and only Irish League title. As I said, Larne back-to-back titles the season before last. The 22-23 and the 23-24 seasons, Larne were back-to-back Irish League champions. "33 minutes gone here at Inver Park. Larne 0, Coleraine 0. What is a chilly night in Larne. It's a night for wrapping up warm. First sight of snow in Northern Ireland this afternoon, and more to come across the weekend, which could cause some disruption, but no disruption to tonight's game on that front. Both sides playing a very closely fought chess match at the moment. As the festive season comes to an end and we kick off a brand new year, a year that both of these sides are hoping for trophy success in. You would be a fool to bet against either one of them. You got to say that. Here's O'Connor. Larne win it back nicely, trying to break away with Graham. Not much room to manoeuvre. He's got McGregor in his wake. Good block with the right foot of McGregor, but it bounces into the Coleraine area. And I think the referee's given a corner. He has gone behind for a corner. It was a nice idea from Sean Graham, unable to get anywhere near the box, and just decided he'll settle for the corner off McGregor, which McAneff will take. Another set piece opportunity for Larne. They've gone short. Donnelly's deep delivery is too deep and out for a goal kick. Well, we talk about Larne's incredible home form. Coleraine are not too shabby on the road either. They have the second best away record in the league. Coleraine, 20 points from 12 games. Only Larne have actually picked up more points away from home this season than the Bandsiders. 22 for Larne from 10 away games. And actually, in terms of the form table, Coleraine have won just one of their last 5 on the road. 3 defeats and 1 draw out of those, and they've lost 2 of the last 3 league games against Glentoran and Ballymena, and they both came away from home. And their last away league win was against Crusaders. They beat them 2-0 at Seaview. Jimmy Glacken and Jimmy McGonigal with the 2 goals. See the 2-0 victory for the Bandsiders on that trip to North Belfast. Oh, that's an interception. Cheap giveaway again from Larne in the midfield, but run out of steam. And it's going to be a free kick, actually. I thought that was a little bit soft. Or maybe there was a foul prior to that the referee spotted here, Ian McNabb. But it looked a little soft on MacDonald, that he went down a little easily by McAneff's challenge. He just kind of stumbled to the ground himself. I don't think McAneff really did anything there, and that to me would be a soft foul, but he's pulled it back here, Ian McNabb, to a challenge inside the centre circle. So it was a previous challenge that he saw a foul in. Free kick to Coleraine nonetheless. Ball worked short to Cooper, who will loft it deep. Up and away by Larne again as O'Connor tries to flick it on. In behind for Lusty. Nicely held up by Miller, and now Lusty down the left-hand side. Got Cooper in his wake doing a bit of defending as Leroy Miller couldn't find a red shirt with his back heel. And it's cleared all the way back to Aaron Donnelly for Larne. Gallagher. Wallace. Down the right-hand side is Cosgrove. Now Jordan McAneff coming wide, driving back inside, leaving his man. And to find Tiernan O'Connor, who tried to create something out of that as the ball was going wide, and he does well to win a corner. Won a corner off Mark Connolly there. So a corner to Larne. This is their second or third corner of the game for the home side. Looks like it's going to be Sean Graham who's going to take this corner on this right-hand side. McAneff took it from the opposite side. Graham, left-footed delivery. Headed down into the danger area by a Coleraine player. It's cleared away, but that was dangerous. Graham whips it in again. Harris has to punch it away. And then on the rebound, Donnelly directs it wide. Well, that was a few close shaves for Coleraine. Again, Sean Graham in the first delivery wasn't cleanly defended. The second one was punched away by Harris, and then it fell to Donnelly, who just couldn't catch it well enough. That delivery by Sean Graham was a good bit of goalkeeping by Aidan Harris. Committed and punched it as far away as he could. Gotta say, the Coleraine goalkeeper has done well so far when called into action. Strong in his 18-yard area, asserting control of his box as Tomas Cosgrove clears long. Captain to captain as Ives heads it back the way it came. Bounces down in the midfield, picked up nicely by McGregor. Shevlin trying to lay it in for Cooper, but Ridley got there first. Behind for a Coleraine corner. Yeah, Joel Cooper doing well there. Knew he wasn't going to outmuscle Matt Ridley, and in the end decided to let him put it behind for the corner. Both sides have gone toe-to-toe to this point. Larne with a little bit more joy in the final third, but nothing clear-cut as of yet, as Wiley to take this corner on the right-hand side. Very congested area. Up and away at the front post. It's lofted back into the area. Back post, it was there, and Rowan Ferguson has to take evasive action, but the flag's going to go up. The player impeding Rowan Ferguson was in an offside position. Free kick to Larne. Well, despite being unbeaten in their last 12 for Larne, they've drawn 2 of their last 5, including their last home game, which they drew 0 each with Cliftonville on Tuesday night. It's only the 3rd time this season they've dropped points at home. You certainly don't want to drop more points at home, certainly this evening, but they know they're a tough task. They try and defend off Coleraine. And we talked about Larne's fixtures coming up. Well, Coleraine, they've also an all-Premiership Irish Cup tie, but they have a home tie against Crusaders next Saturday. Then they host Crusaders in the Premiership the following Saturday before another 3rd in a row home game against Glenavon the week after that. So a couple of showgrounds ties for Coleraine, back-to-back against Crusaders, and then a welcoming of bottom side Glenavon in a few weeks' time. Both of these sides don't have an easy Irish Cup tie next weekend, and looking forward to the Irish Cup weekend. Start the new year next Saturday all across Northern Ireland. Will Patching to take this Coleraine free kick. Right-footed delivery. Into the box it goes. Headed by Connolly. Actually away from goal as Cooper tries to keep it alive, but Larne able to clear it away. Nicely stepped in by McGregor. Flip ball towards the area. Away by Ridley. Picked up by Jarvis, who struck from range, but it was a tame effort. It was Coleraine winning it back through Patching. Down the right-hand side is McGregor, trying to loft it into the area. Blocked at the near side, out for another corner. Having a decent spell here, Coleraine, in the last few minutes. Decent bit of possession, and that man McGregor causing some problems down that right-hand side for Larne, and a bit of thinking for Gary Haverin to do at half-time. Ball whipped in from the corner, again cleared away confidently by Larne as it's whipped back in by Ives. Unable to really penetrate the Larne box there, and it's going to be a foul on Lusty there, I think that was, or was it Gallagher? It was Lusty that was fouled. A free kick to the home team. Cameron Stewart committing that foul. Let's hope for a free-flowing second period, because so far in this first half, both sides have had a go without real much goal-mouth action. And joy in the final third. Here's Lusty, tracked by Stewart. Lusty holding off his marker, looking for an option. Has to go all the way back to Donnelly. And Graham. We will go back to Ridley, the only Larne player, outfield player in his own half currently. Ridley trying to switch that ball to the left, taken in by Graham, and gone out of play by Leroy Miller's pressure. Wins a throw in for Larne. Quickly moved to Donnelly. Miller down the left side. Graham, nice step back inside. And Coleraine have to take evasive action once again. Cameron Stewart putting into the stands, and the far side is Larne take the throw in quickly. Deep delivery by Donnelly into the area, but again too deep. And I think the flag was up anyway against the man who was the target in there, into Moss Cosgrove. So a free kick to Coleraine. We'll see how long will be added on at the end of the first half. Of a hint that there won't be much, I would suspect. Let's see what the fourth official Tony Clark has to, what will show us on the board, and he puts up just the solitary minutes. 1 additional minute at the end of the first half here at Inver Park. League leaders Larne being held really by Coleraine, but they're in a good tussle at the minute. And here's McGregor down the right hand side looking to take on Graham and Miller in company. Cuts it back, half his cross, headed on and right down the throat of Rowan Ferguson. Decent delivery and decent opportunity at the back post. I think that was, might have been Ben Wiley again. He's had a real outlet of goal for Coleraine early in this game, because that's going to be a free kick to the visitors, which is not going to appease the home players. Surely not long left of the first half here. The referee should call an end to it after this free kick. Any opportunity? Connolly just going to play it across to Jarvis. And there's no more time. Ian McNabb calls to an end of a first half that has been cagey at times, but opportunities few and far between for these two teams. It is a real chess match at Inver Park between the Irish Premiership's top two. Larne looking to hold station, 4 points clear at the top. As it stands, they would do that. Coleraine, if they want to come away with a key victory, they'll need to find one of those two star strikers at half time. It is goalless at Inver Park. Larne 0, Coleraine 0. Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this, and Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions, and there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Baratskeli is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and battered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Irish Premiership Live half-time. It is Larne 0, Coleraine 0 at the break at Inver Park. About 13 minutes to go before the second half gets underway for these two teams that really have shared pretty close affair so far this weekend. We start match day 24 in the Irish Premiership tonight. Tomorrow, 5 games kicking off at 3 o'clock. Tomorrow across Northern Ireland, Ballymena hosting Glenavon at the Showgrounds. Glentoran's trip to Carrick Rangers to Taylor's Avenue. Crusaders host Dungannon Swifts at Seaview. It's Linfield against Bangor at Windsor Park, and Cliftonville heading to Portadown at Shamrock Park. That is all tomorrow at 3. So far, let's show you the Irish Premiership table, because really want to reiterate where everyone stands, and we'll show you it live with Larne and Coleraine currently drawing. This is the way the table will shake out ahead of tomorrow's games. Larne would go on to 50 points if they were to draw this one tonight. They would stay clear of Coleraine, who would go to 46. They would both be well clear of Glentoran. Of course, Glentoran, as you can see, they've only played 20 games, so they've got a couple of games in hand on those two above them, so they're still in the mix. Are the East Belfast club. Dungannon Swifts are the team in 4th as it stands, and they head to Crusaders tomorrow. They're on 37. Linfield, the current champions, despite only playing 20 games, but they would, as it stands, be 15 points behind the league leaders if they were to draw tonight, Larne. With even with Linfield's 2 games in hand, that would still only get it down to to 9 points if they were to win those 2 games in hand, but that's still a huge gap to try and overcome. And then making up the top 6 is Cliftonville on 30 points. They've also played only 20 games to this point. And then making up the bottom half, newly promoted Bangor. They've certainly risen their head above where a lot of people expected them to be in a relegation battle this season, but they're certainly living above that. They're on 28, along with Portadown, who are also on 28 points. Then come Ballymena on 24. We've had a real poor run of form, have Ballymena lost 3 of their last 5 games. Speaking of losing 3 of their last 5, Crusaders, but they've actually turned their form around. They'd lost 5 in a row without scoring, Crusaders, but they've won and drawn their last 2, including that North Belfast derby on Boxing Day. So that pushes them a little further away from the bottom 2, which is Carrick Rangers on 19 points and Glenavon rock bottom of the table, 12 points this season for Glenavon, and they've picked up just 1 win in their last 5 games, and they need a real bit of a mini miracle if they're going to conjure their way back up the table, but you never know. That goal difference is quite stark, though, minus 29, which is miles worse than the 2 teams just above them. Minus 16 for Crusaders, minus 8 for Carrick at the moment. But certainly not happy hunting for a lot of those teams down around the bottom in recent weeks. But certainly Glenavon in the worst position of all those teams. But tonight we're looking at the top of the table, and at the moment it is an even affair between Larne and Coleraine, and I didn't expect anything less, if I'm honest. I think a game where Larne are so strong at home defensively, and so strong defensively full stop, but at home certainly, and Coleraine tonight have had a good go certainly in that first half, and I gotta say that they've not sat back, they've not kind of tried to soak up the pressure and hit Larne on the counter. They have been kind of trying to pass it around, trying to get some rhythm, trying to get some momentum with their possession-based football, certainly getting the ball wide. I think down that right-hand side with Lewis McGregor and others down that right-hand side certainly causing a threat, but not enough goal-mouth action for Coleraine, I would say, and I think Rory Higgins would relay that sort of feeling at half-time to his players. Joe Cooper more involved towards the latter stages of that first half, but I think Matthew Shevlin certainly a little bit too quiet. I'm sure Rory Higgins will be making that point at half-time. A quick recap of the preview of the match that we forgot to do before the game, which is quite ironic. As I said, Larne sit 4 points clear at the top of the table with 2 games in hand. Coleraine sit second on 45 points, 4 behind Larne, despite playing 2 more. Larne are unbeaten in the league since a 2-0 defeat to Dungannon on the 10th of October. That's 12 games unbeaten, which is 9 wins and 3 draws, 0 defeats in that run. Coleraine beat, of course, current champions Linfield 3-1 on Saturday. That was their first win in 3 matches, so certainly a statement victory, but a much needed one for Coleraine on Tuesday night to round off 2025 on a massive high for them, certainly. and wanting to start 2026 in the best way, and trying to beat both of the two most recent champions of the Irish League. That would be a statement if they were to come to Inver Park and win were Coleraine, but we'll see what is on offer in that second half. The last meeting, actually, between these two at Inver Park did end in a draw, and we'll show you those recent meetings. The last 5 between the two, as I said, the last at Inver Park back in March of last year now. Keep forgetting what year it was. Larne won, Coleraine won at finish there. Matthew Shevlin on the score sheet for Coleraine, and Andy Ryan, who's on the Larne bench, only returned from injury, is on the Larne bench tonight. He scored the Larne goal. That's the only league draw at Inver Park between these two since 2019, so it's not often that they draw at Inver. And certainly Larne the better of it. In terms of the form at home, as I said, 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two at Inver Park has ended in a Larne victory. So they certainly know their way around Coleraine when it comes to these meetings. And tonight, so far, so good. But they don't want to drop points in back-to-back games, Larne. That really doesn't assert the dominance that they want to assert. But they can. You know, no one really is going to talk about it, and no title challenging team is ever going to say, oh, we can afford to drop points, because that's a defeatist mentality, and that's not a mentality that wins leagues. But Larne are certainly not in a position where they can't drop points. You know, they sit with a position of real control at the top of the league. They've got the games in hand, they've got a points advantage on those below them as well. Now, you don't want to drop points to your most recent rivals, but as it goes back to my point earlier, if you can't win it, make sure you don't lose it. And I think certainly games like this in close matchups, where if Coleraine were to win, the gap would be 1 point, would put more pressure on Larne at that point with those games in hand to try and win those games in hand to extend that gap again. So it's kind of a momentum swing if Coleraine win tonight. But if Larne can just get something out of this game, and they could very easily come out in the second half and win this and run away with it. We've seen Larne do that before against any team in the Irish League, and they're capable of it on their day, are this very dominant team. But Coleraine could cause a little bit of an upset, and that could kind of spice up the title race this season. As I said, they still have that game, the number of games in hand, Larne, but it always goes back to that old age question in a title race. Do you rather have the points advantage, the points on the board, or the games in hand? And I think you would probably err on the side of you'd rather have the points on the board, because you never know what can happen in games that you're probably expected to win or should win based on your league position, and those are the games that might catch you off guard. And certainly in the Irish League, certainly this season, it's been proven that anybody can beat anybody, really, and that is certainly something Larne don't want to become victim of come the latter stages, when they really do need to round off a couple of wins. Well, we're a good 4 minutes away from the second half getting underway at Inver Park. It remains goalless at the break. Just a quick recap on Murray Higgins' coach coming into this game tonight. Speaking to the media before this game, he said, Tuesday night was a brilliant night for us, but we have 48 hours to recover to go to Larne. That's the nature of the beast, but we'll try to go to Larne and win the game. They've had a brilliant season, and in everyone's eyes now have one hand on the trophy. We have to go to Larne now and try and put in a big performance to get all 3 points. And the point really stands, you know, Rory Higgins not hiding away from the fact that the expectation, and putting that expectation on Larne, that they're expected to come here tonight and win the game, or at least get something out of the game, certainly at home, that home record. And of course Rory Higgins making the point that everybody expects Larne to have, or they have one hand on the trophy in the expectations of everyone's eyes, and I think rightfully they do, because of their strong defensive record, the quality they've got in the final third, and just all-round squad depth is stronger than probably any other team in the Irish League. You know, we look at the Larne bench, and they've got really strong options if they need them to come on, with Benji McGee, Conor McKendry, Paul O'Neill, Andy Ryan. I mean, that's 4 incredible attacking players that can certainly swing this game in Larne's favour, and that could be the difference tonight. But again, as I said, there is options off the Coleraine bench that can certainly cause some problems. Of course, Jimmy McGonigal got a couple against Larne in Colerane's last victory at Larne. Of course, And their new signing, just signed today, James Akintunde, has from Haka, a 29-year-old defender. Certainly the 29-year-old attacker could be an option off the bench for Coleraine at the moment, as it looks like there's going to start snowing. Right, we'll get ready for the second half. It's goalless at the break between Larne and Coleraine. A big second half to come. If one of these wants to try and assert dominance in the title race. Kick-off for the second half is on the way very shortly. Sure, one last kick. This is going to be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Irish Premiership live from Inver Park for this one. The second half just coming up in a second. The players back out onto the field, and the snow is coming down in the little quaint town of Larne here in Northern Ireland, and the wintry weather has joined us. We said we got our first sight of snow of the winter this afternoon across the country, and getting a bit of a display of it here this evening to maybe add a little bit of a tasty added extra to this game for the second half. Will be Coleraine kicking from left to right in the second half. Joel Cooper will get us underway in a moment. Looks like there was no half-time changes between the two teams. Finely poised fixtures. We get back underway at Inver Park. Finely poised battle between these two teams at the top of the table, and as I said, the impact that could be if Coleraine come away with all 3 points tonight could be a huge result for them, and as I said, it could be a huge momentum swing in the visitors' favour. Larne, as I said before, tough not to crack. Well, not crack very easily if they do at all tonight. Trying to work it in between the lines, nicely intercepted by Patching, and Shevlin on the turn wins a free kick. Or actually thought he did. A free said play on. Graham. Back to Donnelly and across to Ridley. No changes at the break, by the way, between the sides. Flick ball over the top by Donnelly down that left hand channel, and across it came from Miller. Out for the throw in. Donnelly trying to work it down that left hand side and wins another throw in for Sean Graham. It's Donnelly that's going to actually take it this time. Battle again. Connor winning this throw in. Just keeping it this area of the field at the minute, Larne, and Coleraine keeping them at bay. Looks like Jordan McAneff's going to come over and take this throw in there. Swapping around between a number of players to take these throw ins. are the Inver men. They're going to go for the long one with McInnes. Didn't really beat the first man. It's still in the edges of the Coleraine area, but it's cleared away. Back to McInnes, who tried to cross, but well blocked by the Coleraine player, Lewis McGregor. And again, they're changing their throw-in taker. It's probably Wallace now. It's, well, I think 4 throw-ins and 4 different takers for Larne. Wallace, he's going to go for the long one. Cleared away by Conley. Is Wiley trying to play it forward here for Coleraine. The referee says play on as Cooper was shoved to the ground. And Coleraine unable to progress the ball down the left hand side. Now a break here for Larne. In between the lines, it's O'Connor trying to work it on, but it just stumbled as he got towards the edge of the area. Coleraine were able to stifle that opportunity. Here's Patching. Nice little ball cleared out by from Jarvis by the Larne defence. Jim says this match is a draw written all over it. As I said, the last time these two met, it was a draw at Inver, 1-1 back in March of last year, and last 3 meetings between the sides have all been at the Coleraine showgrounds in the league. The 2 this season, as I said, Coleraine winning the first, Larne winning the most recent. And the game at the Coleraine showgrounds back in April, they won by 2-1 as well. They've always been close, these fixtures, certainly the last 5. 4 wins, but all 4 wins for either team has been by a 1-goal margin, so it's never been a blowout for either team when they do defeat the other. 49 minutes gone. Not long gone in this second half, and not much really happened so far. Just about a hat full of Larne throw-ins, you'd have to say. A bit of head tennis. Bounced around that left-hand side. It's cleared away by Gallagher. Conley with a dominant header. Nicely taken in by Cooper. Now Patching. Looking for the switch ball. McGregor was the target. Nicely cut out by Sean Graham, and now Donnelly breaking forward from the back line, out wide to Miller, back to Donnelly, and Darren Donnelly couldn't keep himself onside. Free kick to Coleraine. A little bit of a wasteful moment there, a rare foray forward for the Larne defender, but I don't think he's usually used to trying to keep himself onside, and it was clear by his pretty poor attempt to do so on that occasion. But I do say if we do get a goal in this one, it will be a massive momentum swing for either one of these two teams. As I say, and as Jim says in the chat, he says the draw's written all over it. I don't think there's many goals in it. Could come down to the single goal and one key moment that could win this game, or equally lose it if it's a defensive error. Oh, that's an awkward header, but it's just about got the pace on it to carry it back to Aidan Harris. But that could have been dangerous. Harris holding the ball up here for Coleraine. Looks it to Cameron Stewart, who tried to work it down the right hand side, but cut out by Sean Graham. And Donnelly across. Wallace. Cosgrove. McInnes. Nice play by Larne. Down the right hand side it comes. And Ives physical against Matty Lusty. Throw into Coleraine. And Levi Ives, of course, formerly of this parish, knows Larne very well. Trying to get as much out of his former team as he can. Scored 4 goals in his 2 seasons with Larne. Of course, won the title in the 23-24 season and spent most of his Irish League seasons with Cliftonville. 5 full seasons with the Reds. Has scored this season at Levi Ives for Coleraine. Has that all-important captain's armband. Throw in down the right-hand side there from Coleraine, but it's actually going to be a Larne free kick for a foul, so possible attacking opportunity for the visitors, curtailed pretty quickly. And Rowan Ferguson lays the ball out from the back here to Donnelly. Gallagher dropping in a little deeper to help out with a possession in their own half here for Larne, as Ridley will fire long down that left channel. And Sean Graham was the target, but a lot of heat on that long ball forward. And it would have been some touch if he was able to take it in, Sean Graham, but it was a difficult one, to say the very least. Cameron Stewart to take this throw in for Coleraine. At the minute, neither side really having much sight of goal in this second period so far. It was a pretty decent first half with a few opportunities for both teams, but so far seeing each other out defensively in the second half to this point, and quite a few set pieces. Still awaiting our first shot of the second half. 54th minute, and another free kick given to the home side here in the Coleraine half. This could be an opportunity. So Sean Graham to take this free kick. Left hand side, a good distance out. Left footed, pinged effort into the area. Up and away by Connolly, and further cleared by Shevlin, as Cooper tries to hold it up. Felt he was fouled in the process. Referee says no, as Miller comes away with it here. Leroy Miller's cross, and the header is off target by Matthew Lusty. That's probably his 4th effort of the night, and not a single one of them could he convert on target. And that one was the best of the lot. Great play by Leroy Miller. Takes his time, drags the defender out to him, creates that angle to whip it around the corner and up to the cascading and towering Matthew Lusty. He's not the tallest of players, but he certainly has a leap on him, and a good leap there from Lusty, but the header not on target. As Coleraine going to be making their first change of the night. Debutant Ben Wiley had a couple of opportunities in that first half. He's coming off, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think for James Akintunde, who I mentioned at half-time could come off the bench to add a little bit of attacking threat to Coleraine. Well, that is exactly what's happened. Debutant for Coleraine, and Rory Higgins, Ben Wiley off and replaced by James Akintunde. Here's Gallagher. Nice little ball into Lusty. Miller holds it up nicely. Lusty trying to return the favour with that cross. Up and away by Connolly, who needed to get the header. And he's put it behind for the Larne corner. And just getting himself back to his feet. And Mark Connolly, he's been having to use his physical aerial ability. Quite a few occasions so far tonight. A couple of big defensive headers. That was a big one on that occasion to put it behind for the corner, which Sean Graham will ready to take here on the right hand side. Left footed, goes short. Worked back to the edge of the area. Ball in and right into the hands of Aidan Harris. Under no duress whatsoever. No, says got Lons and Larne to win tonight. I have no idea. Are Lons winning? Actually, not. Don't actually have a clue. Nil each. You're getting the joy of all the goals tonight. Certainly. Well, goalless here at Inver Park. 57 minutes gone. Still awaiting our first sight of goal. Either one of these two teams instead of combined for 80 goals in the Irish League this season. 34 for Larne, 46 for Coleraine. 80 in total between the two sides. Surely they can add another one to their tally at least tonight. It's Lusty. He's had one or two really top tier opportunities as Larne won a corner here. Coleraine thought it was going to go for a goal kick, but Lusty did well there. He didn't keep the ball, but he won his side a corner. You see it again here. Nice ball delivered down the left-hand side to Lusty. Just collided with Cameron Stewart. The referee said Cameron Stewart had the last touch. Corner to Larne. Jordan McAneff is going to take this corner from the left, although the referee has one or two issues to deal with in the box. First and foremost, Tiernan O'Connor and Dean Jarvis. All up in each other's business. Referee Ian McNabb has to try and resolve. Ball into the area. Cleared away. Out to Donnelly. Back post away by Connolly and Patching. Fires clear. Joe Cooper, the only one forward there for Coleraine. Larne win it back. Down the left-hand side it comes. Ridley's attempt of a cross was cleared away. Once again, this time by McDonald. And then Akintunde tries to help himself physically. Does well. As here is Patching. Trying to unleash one of the two attacking options there for Coleraine, but unable to accurately find anyone in a blue shirt. Liz says, do we think there'll be at least 2 goals here? Waiting on it for my bet, but can't watch it. At the minute, the answer to that question would be no. But you never know. I mean, this game could come to life if either one of these two teams score. It could, open the floodgates in a sense, as that's a decent effort from range. It's deflected behind for another corner to Larne. Yeah, again, that's that ball down the left-hand side. It's O'Connor this time, just back heels it. Nice hold up by Donnelly. He just rolls it back into the path of O'Connor, and then O'Connor's shot deflected out for a corner on the right-hand side. As we hit the hour mark inside Inver Park. 30 minutes to go. Still awaiting the opening goal. Sean Graham to take this corner again. Left-footed delivery. Cleared away at the near post. Still in play though, as Cameron Stewart had to head further clear and out for the throw-in to Larne on the far side. As Lee says, always like the Irish League for bets, you can get goals out of absolutely nowhere sometimes. 100%. It could be an absolute madness goal fest at times, and sometimes both sides could just cancel each other out. So how closely knit it is at times. There's a ball whipped in there from the throw, a long throw, cleared away again by Coleraine. And a lot of defensive actions to do in the second half. Another whip ball in. Not getting very far into the Coleraine box there, as it's again cleared away. Here's Donnelly. Picks it back up for Larne. Down the left-hand side, and a bit of a miscommunication between him and Tiernan O'Connor. That goes behind for a goal kick. The crowd banging on the drum, hoping to help their team across the line to claim another big victory. And Larne maybe starting to knock on the door a little bit, but again, not much real concern to Aidan Harris's goal for Coleraine as of yet. Gotta say, it's reflected the same way around, and Rowan Ferguson's had very little to do with the second half as well. When the ball's barely been in his half in the second period so far. It's been a lot of Larne attack against Coleraine defence. The second period is McGregor plays it back to his goalkeeper, who hoofs it long, trying to get any one of his attackers into play. Unable to do so on that occasion, as Miller does well to fend off his man. Wins it back down that right hand side to Coleraine as Lewis McGregor pins him behind for Cooper. He tries to keep it in play, and that's come off a Larne leg there. That's going to be a Coleraine throw in high up the field on the right hand side here. Dean Jarvis is over to take this throw. Taken short. And McGregor whips it in. Cleared away at the near post. It's Jarvis that picks it back up on the left. Here's Akintunde. Trying to hold up the ball and gives it away a little cheaply, but Patching's there to help him out and win it back. And Akintunde lays it wide. Whip ball into the area, and a strong header by Ridley. And Rowan Ferguson upended by Akintunde, who is very aggressive in trying to win the ball back. It goes out for the corner, but the Coleraine fans loving the energy of their new signing on his debut. Akintunde making sure to make it difficult for Rowan Ferguson there. It was going out for a corner no matter what happened. Neither of the two of them really made any convincing moment on the ball, and Matt Ridley with a really good header. Corner delivered in by Coleraine. Up and away in the middle by Gallagher. Scrambled clear of their own box. And it's gone out for another Coleraine throw. Ebbing and flowing as Coleraine have their first real attacking spell of this second half towards their travelling bandsiders support up from down from the northwest. Those Coleraine fans and a late Friday night action on the road. And they would love their team to come away with a massive result tonight. As I said, it would be a real headline maker for the title race, and as the referee's just going to make sure that Joel Cooper knows his way off the field. Is he going to be another one of those Coleraine's changes? So Cooper, who scored the only goal in a 1-0 win for Coleraine on his debut against Larne on the opening weekend of the season, he's replaced by a man who scored at Inver Park in Coleraine's last win against Larne at Inver Park, in Jamie McGonigal. Another attacking switch for Rory Higgins in this second half to try and, again, just get his side to test Rowan Ferguson's goal. Akintunde was close to intercepting that one. And that ball by Chris Gallagher as he apologises. Just overhit towards Tiernan O'Connor. Now Joe Cooper, not his night. Had a couple of opportunities in that first half, but nothing too clear cut. Coleraine win the throw in down the left hand side. So they want to take quickly. Fired down that left channel. Having to clear it away was Ridley again. The ball bouncing around and Coleraine just take control of it in their own half. Cameron Stewart fires it towards Patching's path. It's kept alive by Coleraine into Akintunde. He did lay it off well, but the referee said no foul as McGregor has to track back to stop Leroy Miller. And Cameron Stewart breaking into the midfield is fouled by Chris Gallagher. And actually Gallagher's come off the worst of the two players. Free kick to Coleraine. Quarter of this game to go. Remain goalless, and Larne are going to make a change very shortly as Patching gets us back underway here. Patching lays it off to Akintunde. The ball up nicely, but has to come all the way back to Connolly. Now Stewart Looking for the right pass. Goes down the right-hand side to McGregor, who wins a throw-in off Sean Graham. McIntunde, nice link up there with McDonald. Oh, and Ives with a poor pass, but Patching able to retrieve just about. Larne give it away cheaply in their own. Here's Connolly bundled over by the backtracking Tiernan O'Connor, and a free kick to Coleraine in the Larne side of the field, as they were going to make a change there, Larne, but they're still prepping their player off the bench, so play on it goes. Levi Ives, early cross deep into the area, too close to Rowan Ferguson. Nice ball, and Shevlin gives the thumbs up for the great ball by Levi Ives, but Rowan Ferguson was very aware of it. Comfortably gathers ultimately. And he's another reason why Larne have such a good defensive record when he is called into action. Rowan Ferguson, he's always reliable, coming up with big saves and really dominating his penalty area. Certainly one of the best goalkeepers in the league, if not the best. As Larne are going to make that change, and we talked about a man who they really have missed from their starting lineup and their attacking line. Andy Ryan, the man who delivered the dream for Larne in getting to Europe a few seasons ago. He's going to replace Matty Lusty, who's had more than enough chances to put himself on the score sheet tonight. And Andy Ryan, the Scotsman, back in the Larne front line. A great return it would be if he was able to get on the score sheet. You wouldn't put it past Andy Ryan. He's a real poacher. Of course, the last two seasons have scored 36 goals for Larne in 64 appearances. 12 league goals last season, 24 the season prior when they did win the league, which is quite a record. Scored a total of 43 goals for Larne in his career at the club in the last 3 seasons, including the last 4 seasons, including this one. As we edge closer to the 70-minute mark, and a game once again where Larne have not hung on in there, because that's a bit inaccurate in the way that the game has gone. They've been on top in moments in this one, but I think Coleraine are still the real deal as well, and the honest assessment is that they're really well matched, these two teams, and at the minute cancelling each other out. It's the simple nature of it. It only takes one chance to make the difference. That was a nice idea from McDonald there, trying to create something special, but unable to find that pass as Larne clear long, and Andy Ryan with his first real run of the night. And Cameron Stewart sees it out of play for a throw. Well, of course, if it stays as it is, that would be a pretty good result for third place Glentoran, who, if they were to win tomorrow at the Glens on their trip to Carrick Rangers, they would go within 3 points of Coleraine and 7 points of Larne. They would have a game in hand on Larne and 3 games in hand on Coleraine. So Glentoran are very much not out of it. If this ends a draw, it is a perfect outcome for Glentoran. But that is if the Glens go and win tomorrow away at Carrick, which is not an easy place to go as well, to Taylor's Avenue. I think Tiernan O'Connor's been given a booking there for a pretty cynical challenge. And O'Connor, the first and only man so far tonight in the referee's book. It's been a pretty fair game in that front. Not been too much disciplinary issues between the two teams. The challenges have been fair. They've been feisty but fair. Ball back. Bit of pressure created there by O'Connor, and that's not a great clearance at all from Aidan Harris, and that's the sort of presence that he has. Aidan Harris just caught that all wrong. And it's going to be a throw in the Larne in a pretty decent area down this right hand side. Laid in behind and unable to really penetrate. Oh, it's a penalty! It looked like Coleraine had cleared their lines and Ian McNabb's just pointed to the spot. It's a penalty to Larne. We'll have to see a replay. It looked like a pretty fair challenge from what I could see, but the referee said it was a foul. And we said it's been a fair battle between these two. It's Levi Ives with the challenge on Tiernan O'Connor. And he does, he catches him. Yeah, he catches Tiernan O'Connor, and that's a good decision by Ian McNabb. It's a penalty to Larne. And the former Larne man in Levi Ives is the one that gives it away. And now it's the question of who's going to take it. Surely there's only one answer to that question. And it's going to be Andy Ryan on his return to the Larne lineup. Back from injury. Can he be back in the goals? Andy Ryan slots it in the bottom right corner for Larne. And they have the breakthrough. It's taken a long while for it, but the league leaders have a lead at Inver Park against their nearest challengers. And it looks like, as it stands, it will be 7 points the gap between the top two come the night's end. If it stays as it is, Andy Ryan, who contributed so much to Larne winning their last league title, well, they could have just contributed a massive goal in a massive game for Larne against a pretty good opponent. And that's a really coolly taken finish down to the bottom right corner, as accurate as you can get into that bottom right corner. And Aidan Harris dived the wrong way. Beautifully taken penalty and wonderfully deserved for Larne. And Andy Ryan with his first of the season for Larne has them in front. And now this will mean Coleraine have no choice but to be more aggressive. And speaking of being more aggressive, they've made another change. Or actually, Larne have made the change, apologies. Paul O'Neill's going to be replacing Tiernan O'Connor. So another attacking change there for Larne, which is very intriguing. Both sides have made attacking changes. Both have really not wanted to settle for anything tonight. They've tried, but they have cancelled each other out more, and less opportunities in this second half. A much cagier affair in the second. It was much more open in the first. Both sides having opportunities. Larne now with the lead means Coleraine have to push up a little bit more, push out a little bit more, take a few more risks. Is another chance and another opportunity from Andy Ryan that's pushed over the crossbar by Aidan Harris. And it could have been 2 quick goals from Andy Ryan. They could have won this game right in the mix there. Again, good play down the left-hand side as Leroy Miller laid it off to Sean Graham, who cut it back inside the box from that left channel. And it's a sweeping effort with his left foot from Andy Ryan, and it was always rising, but Aidan Harris gets a hand to it to push it over the crossbar. A corner to Larne. They lead by a goal to nil with 14 minutes to go, and they've got a corner. Left-hand side. Right-footed delivery. It's deep to the back post. It was taken down initially, but Coleraine are able to clear it. McGregor trying to hold it up to get Coleraine up the field, but again, Larne swarming bodies around the ball, clearing it away from dangerous. Connolly lets rip, long ball over the top. Shevlin trying to assert himself. McGregor does well, trying to find Shevlin in behind, and that's great covering, great defending there from Larne again. Defend off the threat of Matthew Shevlin. And Rowan Ferguson makes sure he gets something to that ball to clear it away. You see it here. Good header by McGregor. Set Shevlin in behind past Donnelly, and it was Gallagher that came across to shield it. And then Rowan Ferguson thumped it clear out for the throw in on the right hand side. They need to be more aggressive now. Coleraine got no option. It's actually gone out for the corner to Coleraine on this right hand side. Left footed delivery, up and away, back towards the corner taker. Laid off this time by Ives, and McGregor into the mix, and the ball plops out of a couple of players and falls to Rowan Ferguson's steady hands. Well, it will be a real painful defeat for Coleraine if they were to lose this one tonight. But they knew that that's what Larne are capable of. That's what league title winners are so well versed in doing, just finding a way to win, even when maybe the game hasn't been the most beautiful to watch or not full of real good opportunities for you. It's about finding a way to win no matter what. At the minute, Larne are doing that. O'Neill trying to work it across, and a number of bodies there trying to work it into the area. It's cleared away by Coleraine again. It's a bit of last ditch stuff there as Cameron Stewart tracks his man out wide, beaten to it, but he will have the better of it to win it back. There Cameron Stewart finds patching. No time for waiting around for the Bandsiders. Here comes McGregor. 3 defeats out of 4 it would be if they were to lose this one, Coleraine. That would be a real sour taste in the mouth of Rory Higgins' team if they were to want to try and fight for the title. Shot from distance is just wide. I think it took a deflection, did it on the way through. It did, off Rowan McDonald. His effort behind for the Coleraine corner. You see it again, it just bobbles towards McDonald and sets up for the strike, and it comes off the back of a Larne defender there and behind for the Coleraine corner. Levi Ives to take this corner then. The man who gave away the penalty. Trying to make amends. Whips the corner in. Ferguson dropped it, but gathered it the second time. Right under the hands of Rowan Ferguson. Long clearance. Coleraine trying to push out more. A little bit outnumbered there, as should have this one covered. Aidan Harris trying to clear it away. He clears it long. How far can they go? Whip back forward again for Larne. Bouncing ball. Andy Ryan shoves off his man and finds the back of the net. What a way to reintroduce yourself to the lineup. Then fire 2 wonderful goals past the Coleraine goalkeeper and back into goal scoring form. That was classy from Andy Ryan. Shoved his defender out of the way and tucked it in the bottom right corner. 2-0 to Larne, and there's no doubt about the way this one's going now. Again, it's a long ball forward. I'm trying to see, is it McGregor that just gets shoved off the ball by Andy Ryan? Too weak defensively. Incredible centre forward play, and he hit it on the bounce into the far netting. Incredible goal by Andy Ryan. Wonderful finish. But from Colerane's point of view, that is such an avoidable goal. And ultimately, that should put this game to bed. Larne 2, Coleraine 0. And we've barely 10 minutes to go. And that should really put this game to bed. But what an introduction from Andy Ryan. On the field, just 12 minutes. And he's already put 2 goals into the back of the net. The first from a penalty, and the second, it was all him. It's incredible physicality in the final third as Patching trying to rescue something here for Coleraine. Ball drops to Akintunde at the back post. Now to McGregor, who has hurt himself in trying to take that strike. It was a pretty tame effort, but he's gone down right away here, Lewis McGregor. That will be a concern, and Ian McNabb waving on the physios to make sure that Lewis McGregor's okay. Well, Murray Higgins' side in a very tough spot now, as it looks like Larne are going to make some more changes. Gary Haveren's side in a decent position now, 2-0 to the good, and haven't at all this season conceded more than once in a single game at home. Well, Coleraine are going to have to break that duck if they're going to get something out of this game now, but myriad of substitutions coming. Double change for Larne, I think. Murray Higgins is going to make a change as well for Coleraine. So Leroy Miller's coming off, as is Donnelly, and Benji McGee and Ryan Nolan are both coming on. So Aaron Donnelly and Leroy Miller replaced by Benji McGee and Ryan Nolan. And happy to say Lewis McGregor is back to his feet. Doesn't look comfortable by any stretch of the imagination, but he is on his feet, which is, I'm sure, a positive for Rory Higgins. Long clearance towards the left side by Ferguson. It's gone out actually for a Coleraine throw. Now it looks like Larne's unbeaten record at home is going to continue. It will be tonight 12 games unbeaten in a row at home, and unbeaten in their last 13 in the league. And even better for Larne, a bit of daylight at the top of the table. A 7-point gap between them and Coleraine if this one stays as it is. Glentoran will have the chance to close the gap to Larne to 9 points when they play tomorrow. And they're not out of it just yet, but Larne's certainly in the driving seat. And they've locked the doors and are letting no one in to try and wrestle back control of this title race. It's the Inver men in full charge. Whip ball in deep. Here's another opportunity and another goal. They have really put this game to bed in the last few minutes, Larne. Once they hit one, they've hit a number of them, and it's Paul O'Neill with the third. And that is going to be game, set and match without any doubt for Larne. All 3 goals by substitutes. 2 from Andy Ryan and 1 from Paul O'Neill to really seal this game. Can you believe that 10 minutes ago we said it could go either way? Well, it's certainly gone one way, and that's in Larne's favour. Great ball in by McAneff. Beautiful left-footed whipped cross, and Paul O'Neill created separation between him and the Coleraine defender, and he headed beautifully back across goal and into the back of the net. Beautiful, beautiful header. 3-0 to Larne. And this game has absolutely been stolen from Coleraine in the last 10 minutes, and the weather reflecting the feelings of those Coleraine fans. Cold and wet and dreary. A night of opportunity turns into a night to forget for those Coleraine fans, who for quite a while, and rightfully so, for a good 70 minutes or so, could say they had a fair fight with Larne. But as I said, when it comes to winning league titles, you need to find a way to get all 3 points, and Larne have more than done that in the last 10 minutes or so. Three goals in a matter of a total of, I think that's 11 minutes between the 3 goals, between the first and the third, and that's when they separate themselves from everyone else. the league leaders. He's patching. Any sort of opportunity now for Coleraine will be a consolation and no more. It doesn't even look like Larne are going to give them that satisfaction. Looks like Larne are as desperate to keep a clean sheet as they are to win this game. And that is a mentality that has spurred Gary Haveren's side into the position they're in. 52 points from 22 games. 7 points clear at the top of the table. And no one in the rear view mirror right now. And wintry showers have returned to Inver Park. We had a little spell of them. Started the half, but now fully pelting down. And Les Baker says this is why we love the Irish League. 2 goals in rapid succession. 100%. A game that looked so tight, so cagey, and with nothing to separate the two teams mere 10 minutes ago. And now one of the two teams leads by 3-0. That's the crazy angle of the Irish League and the way this division goes. But as I said, that's what wins your league titles. Winning these narrow affairs and making sure you get yourself over the line. And it does mean that Larne head into that tricky period, albeit, I mean, it's Larne. Is anything really a tricky period? They head to Ballymena in the Irish Cup, as I said, next Saturday. And then back-to-back away trips to Glentoran and Linfield, to the Oval and Windsor Park, in the space of 3 days of each other, so that's not an easy run either. A quick turnaround between those two, but they had a quick turnaround between Cliftonville on Tuesday night and Coleraine tonight. Played on Tuesday and playing Friday night, so they'll know, and obviously have European experience, they'll know quick turnarounds. As I said, if they go away to Glentoran and Linfield and win, there is no question that they are the team to beat, really, when it comes to the title race. Right now they're the team to beat, because no one can go to Inver Park and get one over on Larne. That's what is strengthening their challenge for the title, and not only their home form, as I said, their away form. They're the best team on the road as well as at home, and that is the perfect combination of trying to win the league title. Linfield have had a woeful away record this season. That's why they're so far adrift. They're second bottom in terms of away form this season. Linfield, you know, and Glentoran are there or thereabouts in terms of their away form, so they're not too far off it, as are Coleraine, but no one is in Larne's stratosphere right now. And as we hit the 90-minute mark, we will have 3 additional minutes at the end of this one. 3 minutes for Coleraine to suffer more. 3 more minutes for Larne to really enjoy this one and stay at home. We've now got an 8-day break before they head back into action, head to the Ballymena Showgrounds for that huge All-Irish Premiership, or their All-Premiership Irish Cup tie. And of course, Coleraine will have a lot of time to dwell on this defeat, and a real bit of thinking for Rory Higgins to do. 3 defeats and 4. And all three of those defeats have come away from home. So it is starting to become an issue, their away record, Coleraine. Albeit they've gone away to tough grounds in the Oval and the Ballymena Showgrounds, but Larne the toughest, and the scoreline reflecting how tough it is. But it doesn't reflect how close this game has been tonight at times. Well, that could be a worry for Rory Higgins, the fact that his team have lost each of the last 3 away away from home, and I'm sure they're happy to see that their next 3 fixtures are all at the Coleraine Showgrounds, all at home. Crusaders in the Irish Cup next Saturday, followed by a league fixture against Crusaders the following Saturday before welcoming bottom side Glenavon the week after. A minute or so to go. Will it be Larne's year in the Irish Premiership for the third time in 4 seasons? Looks like no one else can keep up to the pace of Larne. Coleraine have hit their tough spell. Glentoran have had their tough spell. Linfield have had it tough all season in one particular set of fixtures. It looks like no one's able to keep pace with this Invermen team, and a team that just looks unstoppable at the minute. Impenetrable defensively and unstoppable in attack. They did need their substitutes tonight, let's not forget, but that's what substitutes are for. Off the bench to make an impact, and 2 particular ones certainly made an impact. Paul O'Neill with the 3rd goal, and Andy Ryan returning from injury with the first 2 goals of the night. The first from a penalty and the second was just pure class from Andy Ryan. And there's the final whistle. Ian McNabb calls to an end a fixture that up until the last 20 minutes was a cagey tight affair, but in the final 20 or so, Larne certainly rose above it all and really set themselves away from Coleraine. Andy Ryan off the bench to score 2, and Paul O'Neill also off the bench to put his name on the score sheet. Larne back to winning ways after that blank 0-0 draw against Cliftonville 3 nights ago. But again, 13 unbeaten, 12 unbeaten at home this season. They are a team that look unstoppable, and not even their closest challengers, Coleraine, could stop them. And now you gotta say, it may be a night where not the momentum swings, but certainly the sheer points tally is what gives Larne such control of this title race. Final score at Inver Park, it's finished Larne 3, Coleraine 0. Let's just recap what that means for the table and what the fixtures to come in response to Larne's thumping victory over Coleraine in the end tonight means. So Larne 3-0 winners. Ahead of bottom side Glenavon's trip to Ballymena tomorrow. Carrick Rangers host Glentoran, and Glentoran will hope that they can come away with all 3 points to keep pace with the top 2. But no one can keep pace with the top side Larne at the minute, but Glentoran will want to close the gap if they can tomorrow. Crusaders host Dungannon Swiss. I'll be at that game tomorrow at Seaview. Linfield host Bangor, and Cliftonville head to Portadown. Quite a few of those mid-table sides facing off tomorrow, and looking forward to a number of those games to keep an eye on. What it means for the table is this: Larne sits 7 points clear. And not even that. They're 7 points clear, and they still have 2 games in hand over Coleraine. It could be as bad as 13 points come the end of those games in hand when they finally match up to the same number of games. But remember, Glentoran, they have 4 games in hand, well, 3 in hand over Coleraine before they play tomorrow. And that could be a real title battle between Glentoran and Larne if they can rack up the points. But again, it is all in Larne's control. Only they can really stop themselves now and be their own worst enemy, because it looks like after 22 games and have played every team in the league twice, no one can stop them really at the minute. And that is why they are quite far ahead at the top of the table. Right, that is the way it is finished tonight, and a pretty enjoyable one in the end in the Irish Premiership. It looked like it was going to kind of really run out as a 0-0 draw right up until Andy Ryan came on the pitch, made himself a nuisance, got a penalty, scored the penalty, and scored a second in spectacular fashion. And then Paul O'Neill added his name to the score sheet with a wonderful cushioned header across goal. Larne in firm control of the title race. Coleraine looking like they're faltering when it matters most. Good night.